Ola Atunbi, during the I grew up in Lagos. I spent most of my formative years in Lagos, and my creative journey started from Punch newspapers, studying cartoons, and I had a fascination for black and white imagery. But little to my knowing was that it was due to my own eye defect. So I could only see just blank contrasts. So from there, I started to develop my sight. From there, I started to see that I could also manipulate lines to create form. So from there, it all started from that tender moment with comics and cartoons and the likes, and then that was pretty much my formative years growing up. Growing up in Lagos didn't necessarily, at first, didn't necessarily inspire my artworks. Growing up in Lagos was, I think it's just every little kid in Lagos was always aspiring to wanting to become something else, maybe from the influence of your parents or from the influence of society itself. But over time, what began to inspire my creative practice was just a fascination for colors and fascination for contrasts and fascination for symmetry. You understand? So over time, then that was just pure aesthetics, where I liked what I was looking at. But over time, it began to have a deeper meaning to it, and that was more after my higher education. So it started to have more meaning in terms of searching for. It was intertwined with my own personal search for meaning as a human being and as a person walking down the earth. Like, what is the meaning of things, and what do I need to be doing, and what am I meant to be doing? So that's how my journey. So my inspiration didn't start from just being within the legal scene. It was more of a deeper meaning for purpose. Yeah, that's. Why we live, we're not strong. It's when I look at it, the first time I heard the statement itself, I think it carries a lot of meaning. So it carries a lot of, in my own opinion, it carries a lot of depth, and it's kind of a multifaceted, and I think it can apply into many things, and at the same time, it's very individualistic. While we live, we're not strong. I feel like it talks about human vulnerability and human fragility. And in a more personal context, it's more of how you are able to traverse everyday living. At the same time, understanding the fact that you are not the Superman that you want to be, even though you aspire to be that Superman. And sometimes you have to wear the cape, and sometimes you have to be the one to be saved. So when I look at why we live, we are not strong, it's just about acknowledging the fact that one is fragile, and acknowledging the fact that either there are bigger forces at play in one's day-to-day activities, and just knowing that you're not by yourself, and you don't necessarily have to be by yourself. So those are the things that comes to my mind when I think about why we live and not strong. Well, it fits into it in the sense that my artistic process really stands on the bedrock of being vulnerable. It stands on the rock of uncertainty. Because when I go into my process, I don't usually have a concrete thought as to what I want to do. I just go into it being vulnerable and not even find there's the place of technical abilities or technical skill, but also there's a place of leaving room for for that something everyone would call maybe a genius spark or something. So I like to leave myself in that vulnerable position where I'm open to that spark that comes into it. So I think that's what has pushed my practice over the years, even up until now. So I don't usually come in that, okay, this is what I want. Sometimes I may come in, I know what I want to do, but along the process, it just fizzles out, and I might end up going on in another direction. And I think that's just the beautiful thing about creative process, and even the human process as itself. Sometimes we head out to say, this is what I want to do, but along the line, things come in and you tend to make adjustments along the way to get to a particular destination. Sometimes it's not even the destination, but it's just the journey itself. Something vulnerable. Something vulnerable would have to be my own physical being, my own body as a person. Growing up, I had a defect with my seeing as to how I see things. So I was usually seeing heavy contrast, heavy blacks and heavy whites. And also, so I think that affected, that pretty much affected how I viewed the world, how I saw things. So I couldn't see a certain set of colors. I was only able to see a specific set of colors, but most of the time, most of what I see was in heavy contrasts. So that also influenced how I make drawings, my creative process as well. Also growing up, it wasn't easy learning. So it took me time to really pick up some things in terms of academics and likes, but thankfully with the help of one or two few people, I was able to, they were able to put me in the right direction, and thankfully for the creative art as well, I was able to also channel my abilities into other things creatively. So if not for those things, I mean, it would just have been me not being able to function in the world sense of it, being able to function in society and the like. So yeah, those are just one of the few things, but thankfully it's a better conversation now. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Wow, the funny part is that they didn't even necessarily grab what, I mean, I grew up with parents who also grew up in the structural society of, okay, graduate, get a job, be a lawyer, be a doctor, the usual cliches and the like. So art was not, it was not a thing, it was not a word in my family's vocabulary. You understand? So it's kind of a new thing. So their disposition wasn't good, or neither was it bad. It was just a matter of, can you put food on the table and can you be able to function in society, being an artist and the likes, because that was the major concern, being able to be a functional member of the society and the likes. But I'm just thankful for the kind of parents I had, but regardless of the challenge, the prayers was just, okay, just do what you feel and just be able to function and do so far as you can provide for yourself and you can function, I think you're good to go. When I'm not doing art, I'm basically searching for stuff, searching for new things I can do. And if I wasn't practicing as an artist, I think I can function in any field. What I've learned over the years is you being able to put your work ethics into anything you are doing. So if I was not an artist, I would probably learn another skill, and I'll be able to put my ethics as to how I work and how I put effort into what I do, into any field. So if I pick any field, yes, that's so far as I'm interested. Anyone right now? Pick anyone right now would. I can't think of one right off the bat, but I'm more interested in the digital space. I'm interested in digital space. I'm interested in tech. I'm also yes, I'm interested in that. So anything within that field. So far as I learn the skill, and I think I can function perfectly.